sack on chairman FM again. On the foreign scene, President Zelensky announced the capture of 2 Chinese citizens fighting in eastern Ukraine. Good evening, this is News at 7 on Western Spring Television. My name is Olufemi Alabi. We begin with security matters as Governor Babagana Zulum has insisted that the renewed Boko Haram attack in many communities almost on daily basis without confrontation signaled that Osun State is losing ground. The governor stated this on Tuesday at a special expanded security meeting attended by the General Officer Commanding 7th Division, Major General Abubakar Haruna, the State's Commissioner of Police, head of other security agencies, as well as Chair of Borno, Dr. Abubakar Garba Al-Amin Al-Kanami, amongst others. The governor stated that his administration has been very supportive of the military in the fight against Boko Haram and other terrorists, leading to relative peace in the last 3 years. The governor commended the federal government under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu and the security agencies for their unwavering support in the fight against Boko Haram. Governor Zulum, however, lamented that the recent attacks and dislodgement of military formations in several local government calls for serious concerns and a setback in the state. Staying with security, the Defense Headquarters has said no ransom was paid to facilitate the release of retired Brigadier General Maharazu Tisga, who was held captive for 56 days by kidnappers. In a statement, Defense Headquarters spokesman Brigadier General Tukur Gusau said troops engaged both kinetic and non-kinetic strategies to secure the release of the former Director General of the National Youth Service Corps. It disclosed that since his abduction on 7th February, troops remained relentless in their pursuit, conducting both air and ground operations within Damusa, Kankara, and Paskari local government areas, where he was supposedly held captive at different times. He said that the disparaging efforts online is nothing but an act of mischief which is calculated in undermining the dedicated efforts of military efforts to eradicate terrorists and other criminal elements from the Northwest region. In the meantime, the Kebbi State Police Command this morning confirmed the abduction of a 400-level student of the Federal University of Birning Kebbi. The victim, according to a statement signed by the command's spokesman, CSP Nafiu Abubakar, identified as Augustine Madubiya, 23, a final year economics student, was kidnapped around 3 a.m. by kidnappers who stormed an off-campus hostel in Ungwari Jeji, Kalgo local government area. It is disclosed that the tragically Good Samaritan Malam Sidi Husseini, who was nearby attending to his cattle and attempted to intervene, was fatally shot during the incident and was later confirmed dead by a medical doctor. He added that the command is following credible leads and a combined team of security personnel is actively combing the surrounding forest areas to ensure the safe rescue of the victim and the arrest of those behind this despicable act. The Pan-African Socio-Political Organization Afenifere has urged the federal government to allow the establishment of state police with immediate effect to tackle the upsurge of insecurity in the southwest geopolitical zone. The group equally advocated for the recruitment of more hands in the regional security outfit, the Amotekun, as well as the use of modern technology such as drones and trackers to address insecurity in the Yoruba-speaking states of Nigeria, including Kwara and Kogi states. In a communique issued at the end of its caucus meeting held at the country home of the group's national leader, Reuben partiality. The group said that given the crucial role security plays in society, the federal government and security agencies must redesign the security architecture to enable those in charge to address its root causes effectively. Afenifere called on the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, to work with state governors to urgently develop strategies to confront the security challenges and bring them under control. Here in Osun State, Governor Ademola Adeleke has directed that the previous 17-hour curfew imposed on the three warring communities of Ilobu, Ifo, and Eriosun were relaxed to 12 hours. The communities had been recently embroiled in violent clashes that have claimed many lives and left several buildings razed by hoodlums. A statement signed by the State's Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Olakbo Alimi, obtained in Osogbo, the state capital, on Tuesday, said the decision to relax the restriction was premised on the gradual return of peace in the affected communities. He also said the adjustment in the time frame of the curfew would allow students sitting for senior secondary school certificate examination and job examinations to be able to do so without any form of hindrance. Commenting further in the statement, Adeleke reaffirmed his commitment to doing everything morally and officially possible to bring the communal fracas in the three communities to an amicable end. Away from security matters, the Osun State House of Assembly has passed a bill seeking to enhance quick dispensation of justice and reduce bottlenecks in justice delivery for a second reading. The bill formed a part of the deliberations at today's plenary session. Toby Sanusi completes the story.
Opening the plenary session today, the Speaker, Adewale Egbedu, reads out 3 private member bills, all revolving around the judicial system of the state. The first, Osun State District Customary Court and Customary Court Establishment Amendment Bill 2025, among other things, seeks to expand jurisdiction of the court and decongest Osun State Magistrate Court. Similarly, the 2 other bills, Osun State Bail Discretion Bill 2025 and Osun State Customary Court of Appeal Establishment Amendment Bill 2025, if passed into law, will also enhance quick dispensation of justice.
The bill, when passed into law, will entirely expand the jurisdiction of the court, reduce congestion in the Osun State Magistrate Court, enhance quick dispensation of justice. Osun State Bail Discretion Bill 2025 for consideration and passage. This bill is to drive home the rule of law in our criminal law jurisprudence and embracing the operational intent of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The bill, when passed into law, will entirely bring to reality the operation of the presumption of innocence guaranteed by the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in favor of any person standing a criminal trial, reduce congestion in the correctional centers, enhance quick dispensation of justice.
The 3 bills, sponsored by member representing Oriade State constituency, Komi Ajibola, are expected to be deliberated upon in subsequent plenary sessions. The House further extended talks to the second reading of the Osun State Multi-Door Courthouse Establishment Bill 2023 after the lawmaker representing Borikwe Boluwaduro State constituency, Simeon Popola, presented its policy thrust. Honorable Popola, who is presenting the bill for a second time, having met deadlock at the 7th Assembly, noted that the bill seeks to, among other things, minimize frustration in justice delivery and boost access to justice.
To minimize citizens' frustration and delays in justice delivery by providing a standard legal framework for the fair and efficient settlement of disputes through alternative dispute resolution. When we say justice delay, it's justice denied. If there are multiple courts, which I refer to as multi-door courthouse, where there is arrangement to mediate, to adjudicate, and to negotiate, the time with which a matter is concluded is shorter than going through prolonged litigation.
Corroborating the submission, members representing Ede South and Ife Central State constituencies, Taufik Olaiwola and Abiola Woyeye, stressed the need to decongest prisons through alternative dispute resolution and reduce the workload on judicial workers. Honorable Olaiwola, while citing the controversy that trailed the local government election court judgment, called for speedy passage of the bill.
Even after litigation, when you get judgment, you are still confused. And that is where we are now in Osun State, as a gradual government crisis, where we got a judgment and there have been several interpretations to it. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, why urging my colleagues and your humble self, sir, that we should give this bill a speedy passage? Aside from that, in Yoruba land they say, I call the sorry. When you adopt ADR mechanism, you resolve issues amicably, and whatever the time to get from that resolution stands like a court pronouncement. So it's a very good one that we deserve at this moment.
He mentioned about the way the prisons are really congested. I have a legal aid program where I go to prisons and I get some service of some lawyers to help and decongest those prisons. There's a prison in my town that we go to for that. And when you get there, you see the state of our prisons. We see the life that inmates. Some people have been there for like 20 years, and the court process are still going on. So this is a very good way. And to put it in a nutshell, even Ade or your state here, they practice it already. I have made use of ADR in Oyo State, and it works. So, and even at that, another cogent reason why we should do this is because of our judicial workers. When we get to the court, if you know the workload on our magistrates, on our high court judges, you know that making our judicial system more robust through ADR.
Earlier yesterday, the House passed the Consumer Protection Agency Bill 2024 into law, awaiting Governor Demola Adeleke's final assent. Toby Sanusi, Western Spring Television News.
Thank you, Toby. Moving on to Kano. The Kano's division of the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja on Tuesday reserves judgments in 5 appeals against 2 decisions of the Federal High Court in Kano, which among others voided the composition of the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission. A 3-member panel of the Appellant Court, presided over by Justice George Will Ekemnem, announced after hearing the appeals. The appeals was filed by the electoral body with the Independent National Electoral Commission and 4 others as respondents. The other appeals are by the State Attorney General and 6 others with All Progressives Congress and 3 others listed as respondents. The judgments appealed are against those delivered on October 22 and 24, 2024 by Justice Simeon Ameboda of the Federal High Court in Kano. In the October 22 judgment, Justice Ameboda restrained the electoral body from proceeding with the local government elections earlier planned for October 26, 2024. The judge also voided the composition of the state electoral body on the grounds that those appointed were not qualified. The judgment was on the suit filed by Aminu Aliyu, Tiga, and the APC. Now turning to politics, the Labour Party caucus in the House of Representatives has laughed off the purported sack of its chairman, FM again, by the embattled national chairman of the party, Julius Abure. Honorable Agane, a member representing Agbaru Federal Constituency, Anambra State, had well reacting to Friday's Supreme Court judgment, which removed Abure from office, pledged the readiness of the party's House of Representatives caucus to work with the party's National Caretaker Committee, led by Senator Nenande Usman. Mr. Abure, however, announced Honorable Agane's sack on Monday in what may be another feud within the party's fold. However, in a statement issued by Honorable Agane today, on behalf of the caucus, The lawmaker reminded Abre that it is the duty of the lawmakers to name their leader based on personal conviction. He emphasized that the position of the caucus leader was not an office-based appointment, noting that only members of the caucus who elected him have the right to remove him as leader. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, today presided over the Commission's weekly management meeting, barely 24 hours after rumors of his removal circulated on social media. On Monday, a viral WhatsApp message falsely claimed that Professor Yakubu had been sacked and replaced with Professor Bashiru Olamileko by President Bola Tinubu in response to the rumor. The chief press secretary of Southern NEC chairman Rotimi Oyekami dismissed the claims as false, calling on the public to disregard the publication. Professor Yakubu, who is nearing the conclusion of his second tenure at the helm of the electoral body, is expected to complete his term toward the end of the year. Today, INEC took to its X to confirm that the weekly management meeting had begun, with Professor Yakubu overseeing the session at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja. Moving on, the gates of the Banana Island situated in Ikoyi area of Lagos State was on Tuesday shut for entry and exit. The shutdown has caused gridlock on the Lekki-Aja axis in some other parts of Ikoyi. There are speculations that the shutdown was due to the proposed demolition of the Banana Club house. In a viral video on Tuesday, vehicles in their long queues were seen stranded in the estate with some men manning the gate to the estate. There were contradictory claims on the government agencies responsible for the development, while some attributed it to agencies of the federal government. Some others said agencies of the state government were responsible. The Lagos State Building Control Agency denied that their officials were on the ground disrupting activities in the area. Vice President Kashim Shettima has asserted that Nigeria's biggest challenge in its federal system lies not in the structure, but in a pervasive deficit of fiscal responsibility across the tiers of government. He, however, emphasized that the administration of President Bola Tinubu was committed to bold reforms amid fostering a more functional and people-centered federal system. He stated this while delivering a keynote lecture at the 17th Leadership Annual Conference and Award held today at the banquet hall of the State House in Abuja. The Vice President, represented by the Special Advisor to the President on General Duties, Office of the Vice President, Aliyu Modibo Umar, called for greater accountability and reform to strengthen the country's fiscal federalism. He noted that the problems attributed to the nation's federal system often stem from the poor management of what is already within the country's grasp, not from any inherent flaw in the constitutional architecture. The Vice President further stressed the importance of tailoring Nigeria's federal structure to meet national aspiration, calling for sincere dialogue and collective reform. You're watching Spring News at 7 on Western Spring Television. Still to come, tributes fall in the late founder of defunct Diamond Bank, Pascal Dozier, who died grounds amid renewed Boko Haram attack on communities. Here in Osun, Governor Adeleke relaxes 24 hours curfew imposed on Ilobu before carrying to 12 hours. Labour Party's House of Representatives caucus laughed off purported sack of Chairman Afam Ogene. On the foreign scene, President Zelensky announced the capture of 2 Chinese citizens fighting the eastern Ukraine. Tributes have started pouring in for the late founder of the defunct Diamond Bank, Pascal Dozier, who died today, a day before his 86th birthday. born on April 9, 1939 in Egumbu, Owerri, Imo State. Dozie founded Diamond Bank before his merger with Access Bank. President Bola Tinubu, in a statement, extended his condolences to the Dozie family, the business community, and all Nigerians on the passing of the elder statesman, entrepreneur, and banker. The president celebrated Dozie's vision and contribution to Nigeria's economic architecture, describing them as an enduring legacy. Meanwhile, the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, in a post on X, described the deceased banker as an inspiring business leader. Nigeria's former Minister of Information, Frank Wanke, described the late business tycoon as one of the finest men of a generation. Elsewhere, the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ Rivers State Council, has issued a 14-day ultimatum to the State Police Command to tender an unreserved public apology over the assault of 5 journalists during a peaceful protest in Port Harcourt, or risks a statewide media blackout. In a statement jointly signed by the Council Chairman, Comrade Paul Bazier, and Secretary Dr. Ejioma Tubosia, the union condemned the action of police officers involved, demanded their immediate identification and prosecution. The NUJ, in a statement, said, as a watchdog of society, it will not sit idle while media practitioners are subjected to brutality, warning that any further attack on journalists in the state would be vehemently resisted. The union described the incident as unprovoked, barbaric, and inhuman, adding that it amounted to a gross violation of the rights of the affected journalists. Those assaulted include Charles Opurum of Channels TV, Alwell Ene of Niger FM, Siobel Lemary Urwari of Nigeria Info, Ikezam Gatswell of AIT, and Femi Ogun Kilede of Super FM. The journalists were tear-gassed while covering the protest, while Opurum beaten and detained by security operatives. On the foreign scene, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has announced